All right, welcome to the latest episode of the Coleman Power Organic Fitness Podcast. I have most certainly Craig Goldberg here, my latest guest, who is an expert on all things health and most certainly de-stressing. And I want most certainly let Craig introduce himself. So, Craig, say hello to the listeners.
What's happening, beautiful humans? Grateful to be here. Coleman, thank you so much for having me. Let's
Me
talk
already.
about optimizing our health. Let's
That
talk about
is
being the best versions of ourselves. Let's go.
Yes, me and Craig literally already having the chats already, and he's already coming over to Ireland, and I'm going over to most certainly himself over in the likes of Las Vegas. So there's literally something to look forward to in the near future for the two of
Let's
us, and
go.
maybe you stay tuned as well for videos out the other side of it. So Craig, I suppose tell me how you first got into, I suppose, overall health in general. Your
Yeah, I
backstory.
mean, I mean, look, it starts with just being human, right? Like when you're a kid, I have a 3.5-year-old daughter, almost four, and when you're a kid, you're not really thinking of your health. You're not really thinking about brushing your teeth and right. And then you start to get older and I'm 44. So,
Okay.
about the time you turn 25, that frontal lobe starts to fully develop. You start to really think about consequences in the future and you start to think about things a little bit differently. And at some point in your 20s, you start to realize that all the alcohol probably isn't doing you any good. And you start to slowly make better decisions on your overall health and wellness. Right. I mean, that's kind of how it all started, if you really want to kick it back to a point in time. And then from there, my wife and I, we were living in San Diego, and my wife started getting sick. And doc after doc, nobody could really tell us what was going on. I actually think our story is very similar to a lot of other folks' stories, especially as I travel the world and speak. I'm certainly, I talk to and hear a lot of stories that are very similar. So my wife got sick, doc after doc, nobody could tell us what was wrong, test after test, everything kept coming back negative. This was just over 11, 12 years ago. This was in 2012. And in the end, it wound up being gluten. We removed gluten from our diet and all of her symptoms went away. And this kind of led us on a trajectory to really understand health and wellness because I thought I was being healthy. I thought I was making healthy decisions, but I didn't actually know what health was. And and this gets into a lot of what's I think very popular today, especially given the pandemic that we just went through and everything else that's happened. I think a lot of people are starting to take health and wellness into their own hands. They're starting to recognize and understand that mainstream media might not have their best interest in hand. They're starting to realize that, especially here in the United States, the food diagram is and the food triangle of what you're supposed to be eating is not healthy. The standard American diet is not doing you any favors. And in fact, quite the opposite is probably leaving you sick and ill with some type of disease. And the more I started to learn about our health and wellness system, the more I started to learn about what it truly means to be healthy, the more I wanted to share, the more I wanted to talk about it. And my wife and I have a parent company that sits above In Harmony Interactive, which is what I want to talk about today. But that health and wellness company is all about products and services that help us to feel our best, supplements that are made specifically for your DNA, water that is filtered and restructured. Essential oils are a profound part of our day to day life, right? So, all of these different things, grounding, making sure you're getting sunlight in the morning, making sure you're finding cuddle time with friends and family, making sure you're finding time for meditation, exercise, cold therapy, hot therapy, red light therapy, which is shining on me as we speak. And all of these different aspects to understand how the human body works and what we are taking away by living in a relatively safe, air conditioned home here in Las Vegas. But yeah, just really understanding health and wellness as a whole. And it really catalyzed with my wife not feeling well and us needing to figure out how we can get her to feel better and modern medicine not having the answers, unfortunately. I think modern medicine is great. I'm not here to take anything away. If I slip, fall, and break my arm, take me to the hospital. Let's go see an orthopedist. Let's go figure out what needs to be done to bring that back in shape and back to normal function. But yeah, it's been an interesting road. I'm 35 hours into a fast right now, and you'd be hard pressed to find um, any doctor that's going to tell you not to eat for any period of time more than, a few hours. And here I am at 36 hours, I think, um, without any food, just water, black coffee.
Right, but there's so many, I'm going to say, different, I'm going to say, diets out there. But the key point, I suppose, Craig, even to reiterate it, is that food and lifestyle is medicine. It's something that people are not actually doing enough of. They're not doing the simple things. They're not getting outside. They're not getting full light exposure. They're excessively drinking coffee. I hope that's not coffee as Craig takes a drink at the same time.
It's black coffee.
And right. And what would, I suppose, your thoughts be on the likes of people who do drink coffee, or are you just, I don't even expand on that coffee
Coffee is
benefits?
amazing.
It most certainly can be amazing. It's one of those things that can most certainly increase our, I suppose, ability to concentrate in any one specific time. It can awake most certainly the body in certain ways so that you can perform at a given time and space, whether it's on a podcast and or for exercise routines.
You
But
sound like you've had a cup of coffee.
the listeners will know as well that I would rarely drink coffee. It is
It's
actually
coming
now
late into the night. So
coming late.
here's my feeling on coffee.
Yeah, shoot.
It all depends on the source and it all depends on how much. Like anything in life, right? Even that water that you're drinking right there from a spring, fantastic. From the tap, not here in the United States. Might be different in Ireland, but we can't trust the municipalities in here in the States. So it all depends on the source. I think a lot of coffee, especially from the big brands here in the United States and abroad, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, these brands are not giving you a high quality coffee product. They're doing too much volume. There's certainly mold and other things in that coffee that are going to be damaging to the body. Coffee by itself, the coffee bean, if you have a coffee plant outside and you're growing the fruiting plant and you're harvesting it yourself and roasting it in your oven, drink that up. Absolutely fantastic. No pesticides, no insecticides, no mold, and it's straight from the tree. I would tell you that it's absolutely fantastic for you. It's no different with tobacco. Tobacco gets a bad rap, but that's because of Marlboro and Newport and all of these all of these cigarette brands that are just crippling the tobacco plant, which has been used for centuries without any issue. But now it's so corrupt with 400 plus chemicals that they add to the tobacco through insecticides, pesticides, and herbicides, that it's just horrific for the body. So I think like anything, quality and um, everything in moderation, including moderation, is I believe what the saying is.
Yeah. And you're so right in saying that, because not all food is created equally. Not all meat, not all fruits, not all vegetables, depending on where it is. And I'd be a firm believer being someone who emphasizes the fact of local. Know your farmer. Whether you grow your own or buy it, I highly recommend you add the best food you possibly can to your diet, because
Absolutely.
food literally can change the way you look, you feel, and how much energy levels you have. And I'd say my whole life, Craig, to fill you in, I drank probably about 4, maybe 5 cups of coffee, just to literally see what the taste was and what everyone was shouting about.
Oh,
I just literally live off. I've been outside, and I'd love to know in Fahrenheit to tell you. It's probably about 10 degrees. It's very cold. You would people be wearing woolly hats
I love it.
in Ireland, and I had a
Look,
t-shirt off. I'm
it's
getting
cold.
full.
It's cold here too. I love the cold.
Yeah. Cold is not necessarily a negative thing. It's something we actually fear often more than not. But one thing for sure, cold water, cold air exposure, and the exposing your body to the highs and the lows, whether it's saunas or it's cold air outside, or it's the likes of, I'm going to say, cold plunges, either in a pool or in a lake or a river or anything else for that matter, is something that's massively important.
Speaking my language, brother. Speaking my language. I love sauna therapy. I love cold therapy. I don't do it nearly as often as I'd like to. Right now, my pool has been drained. I had a leak. That's usually my cold plunge in the winter, and it'll be back online in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, I'm taking cold showers. You're right. It's that influx of hot therapy, then cold therapy, and it's these extremes that actually make the body react. The specific term is hormesis, if you're familiar with hormesis, but it's basically through adversity we get stronger. Not very different from working out. You go to the gym, you work out a muscle, and you're breaking that muscle down, and then it's rebuilding itself stronger. And the theory and the concept, there's a great book called Hormesis, uh, and um, and it's basically the study of how human beings get stronger through adversity. And there's a ton of research that shows its efficacy and it as a concept. And you're familiar with it. Do you remember? Did news of the biodomes make it to Ireland? Are you familiar with
Um,
what that is?
it it may have, but I'd be of the I'm going to say genre or maybe individuals that don't even listen to the general news. I only
That's good.
listen and follow people that I like, know, and
Well,
trust.
so I'll give you, and that's well done, sir, well done. So so about 20 years ago, okay, this isn't even new news, but about 20 years ago, they decided that they were going to create a completely encapsulated dome, and it was going to be completely shut off from the outside world. And this was going to be their test to see if they could create a completely closed circuit of plants, animals, human beings, in an effort to survive, right? So that we could do this on another planet. We could do this in a spaceship. We could do this even here in the United States, should something, or on this planet, should something happen to the atmosphere or the Earth. Okay. And it was basically a big test. They called it the biodome. They've had 3 of them. Okay. The first one failed miserably. And the reason the first one failed is because there was no wind. And because there was no wind inside, none of the trees grew tall. It's not something you really even think about. But slowly over time, that adversity of the wind blowing against that tree trunk is what gives it the ability to be strong and to grow tall. If there were no wind, if there was no adversity, there would be no strength in that timber, in that tree, and in its growth over time. Human beings are no different. We need adversity, we need struggle, and certainly what doesn't kill us does make us stronger. So that cold therapy, that hot therapy, working out, going to the gym, there are certainly easier and more pleasing things to be able to do. But even just going for a brisk walk every day, not more than 20, 30 minutes of an increased heart rate, what the Apple Watch is now showing as zone 2 cardio, is really all you need. A little shortness of breath, a little difficulty in your conversation while you're working out, but the ability to hold a conversation while you're working out is really all you need uh, to uh, to really stretch out your longevity, your health span, and your lifespan.
Most people are actually living within a comfort zone, from going from a warm heated electric blanket that some people go to literally the kitchen with underfloor heating, to a warm cup of coffee, to the car where
That's
they turn on the
fantastic.
heating, where
That
they go
sounds
to the
lovely.
office with artificial light. They come home to a microwave dinner or something where they pick up a takeaway on the way, or a pizza for that matter, processed foods, and they go back into that same bed, rinse and repeat, and wonder why they're getting sicker and sicker. It's that lifestyle of, I'm going to
Yeah,
say, lack of real, simple, natural health that most certainly yourself will be an advocate of as well
100%.
as myself.
100%. Look, morning sunlight, getting sunlight on my eyes, on my face, on my skin as much as I possibly can here in the winter months. That triggers the circadian rhythm and actually helps me get a good night's sleep that night. It starts the morning and it triggers into the evening. The blue block glasses, absolutely fantastic. It's 9:47 in the morning here, so I don't have that concern, but I take out the blue blocking glasses, especially as the afternoon wears on and as the evening wears on. Absolutely. All of the lights in my house actually turn red at 6 p.m. when the sun goes down, right? We begin to ease ourselves into sleep. Most people come in my house, and by the time it's dark out, 6, 7 o'clock here in the States right now, they're telling me that they're exhausted. Turn on the lights. I'm getting tired. And I'm like, you're supposed to get tired. It's it's not supposed to be stimulating, right? My TV screens, they all turn red. I don't use my monitors, my extra monitors, because they don't turn red. I only use my laptop. I only use my iPad, which has night shift on it. So there's a series of different things that you can do to begin to learn about how you can prepare your body for better sleep, how you can treat your body better during the day with these healthy solutions, truly healthy solutions. Grounding, getting your feet on the earth, or using a grounding mat. A lot of people here in the United States don't have access to grass. Believe it or not, here in Nevada, they're actually trying to get rid of all of our natural grass. We live in a desert, so they're trying to replace it with plastic. And there's a lot of people that don't have access to the earth. They can't get their feet on the earth every single day, and it's tragic. It really is. It's one of the reasons why In Harmony Interactive has been performing so well, and why we've been having so much success, and why we're even here in the first place, is to really deal with the stress and anxiety that this culture that we have co-created, this society that we have co-created, is really having, what type of impact it's having on our day-to-day health and wellness overall. And it's not good. It's just not good.
I suppose people have put themselves into, I suppose, increasing inflammation in their body, whether through lifestyle or through foods. And I know you being an expert in, I suppose, de-stressing the body in relation to with In Harmony. Can you even expand on how current examples with your clients are, I suppose, feeling out the other side of different services that you were providing?
Yeah. So for me, it's all about stress and anxiety. Look, what we just covered over the last 20 minutes or so is really about how to live a healthy life and understanding health and wellness as a whole. Now, if you don't have access to that, and I'm sure for the folks that are listening, they do because they've been listening to your podcast, they're familiar with what we're talking about. This isn't necessarily a new conversation for our listeners, but for a lot of Americans, and I'm sure a lot of people in Ireland as well, this could be a new conversation. Or worse, they could be dealing with stress and anxiety. They could be dealing with the aftermath of a stressful day or a stressful life. And stress and anxiety show up in our world, and it's really detrimental to overall health and wellness. When you feel stress and you feel anxiety, your body is in what they call a sympathetic nervous system response, which is a really big word for otherwise known as fight or flight, right? And we're all familiar with fight or flight. A fight or flight stress response is one that keeps you on edge and it keeps you prepared to fight or run. It is designed to keep you alive. It is designed to help you survive. And unfortunately, the body does not know the difference between emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual stress. So the body only has one response to stress, and that is to kick in the sympathetic nervous system response. How does that happen? Well, it happens through the five senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing. And that's how our brain evaluates the world around us. So when it evaluates a threat, whether it's a physical threat, an emotional threat, mental or spiritual threat, it only has one response, and that is to kick in the sympathetic nervous system response. Now, when this happens, the brain releases cortisol and adrenaline into the bloodstream. The cortisol keeps you hyper focused on whatever that threat is so that you stay hyper aware and focused on that threat. The adrenaline diverts and turns off maintenance tasks in the body and diverts that energy to the major muscle groups of the body so that you can fight or run. Quads, hamstrings, back, shoulders, triceps, bis and tris, right? All of a sudden, that adrenaline, that's why we start to shake when we're starting to feel threatened. It's that flow of energy into the major muscle groups so that that mom whose child is stuck beneath the car can pick up the car without even thinking about it and pull her child out with one hand. And you go, where does she get the energy from that? The strength comes from that adrenaline push, from that enormous amount of energy that is being diverted from maintenance tasks to life-saving tasks. Your body is in life-saving mode, that fight or flight. Unfortunately, too many people are walking around in this fight or flight every single day, all day, from 8 in the morning until they go to bed at night, day after day, week after week, month after month. And unfortunately, when you have that amount of adrenaline and cortisol, first of all, you're going to fry your adrenals. Your hormones are going to be disrupted. This is meant to happen once a day, once every other day. It's meant to happen in emergencies only. It's not a state that we're designed to sit in. And too many people, specifically here in the United States, are sitting in fight or flight all day long. And when you're sitting in fight or flight, that cortisol and adrenaline is flowing through your blood is turning off your immune system. It's turning off your digestive system. It's turning off your reproductive system, and it's turning off rational thought. So now all of a sudden you have somebody that's feeling stress and anxiety because of a threat at work or a non-existential threat that they're just making up in their head, which is very possible. Or worse, they think the outcome of this particular scenario is going to be worse than it actually is. And therefore, they're sitting in that fight or flight because they think they're in a life-threatening scenario, but they aren't. And there's lots of different examples for this. But if you're sitting in fight or flight and digestion is turned off, now it doesn't matter how clean your water is. It doesn't matter how fantastic that supplement is that you're taking or how organic and local that food is, because you're stressed and anxious, which means your digestion is turned off. It doesn't matter how strong your immune system is because your immune system is turned off and your reproductive organs, et cetera, et cetera. So you can see how stress and anxiety is sitting at the root cause of a lot of the ailments and issues that we're having, particularly here in the United States. So, In Harmony Interactive is all about using sound and vibration to help reset the nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic, from stressed and anxious to calm and relaxed, from fight or flight to rest and digest, so that we spend more time in that rest and digest phase, maintaining the body the way the body was so naturally designed to maintain itself, and giving ourselves a fighting chance to operate optimally. And unfortunately, too many people are walking around in this fight or flight all day long. And unfortunately, they're not giving their body the ability to take care of itself. It's why I'm on a 36-hour fast going to 72 hours right now, because digestion is the second most expensive process in the body. When I tell my body, when I don't give my body any food and I make it really easy, I remove that effort. Now, all of a sudden, that energy can be used elsewhere, like in autophagy, killing off dead cells, in detoxing, opening detox pathways, and dealing with aspects of my overall health and wellness that I otherwise would not deal with when it's busy digesting food all the time. So it's yeah, there's a reason I chose sound and vibration at In Harmony and our business as our business model, is because I really think it's foundational to everything. If you can reset the nervous system and spend more time in a calm and relaxed state, your body will perform the way it was so beautifully designed to perform, and your body will feel and perform optimally and at its best.
I suppose just to even explain in its simplest terms, what would the likes of sound therapy be, I suppose, for the layman? Just to, I suppose, even give an example of how long it is, what's involved in it, and the benefits out the other side from it.
Absolutely. So sound and frequency has a profound impact on our physiology. And sound and frequency is literally anything you're going to hear or feel. Okay. So we're all familiar with listening to music. That music fluctuates at a multitude of different frequencies. Each frequency has a different octave or a different hum to it, right? And a song typically goes in and out of these different frequencies. There's a body of research that goes back about 40 years called vibroacoustic therapy, or VAT, VAT. And vibroacoustic therapy quite literally studies the science of sound, frequency, and vibration and its impact on our physiology, on our neurology, on our anatomy. And this study is on how we can calm and relax the nervous system. Your body, the human body, is basically one big antenna. We are constantly coming into and out of what's called harmonic resonance with people, sounds, frequencies, vibrations, and things all around us. And we know this because you walk into a restaurant and they're playing a song that you don't like, and you can't stay there. You're like, I can't listen, this just doesn't work for me. Now, whatever music you don't like and whatever music you do like is completely subjective and completely individual to you. However, there is a study of sound and frequency even right now. I don't know that you're going to be able to pick this up on the microphone because I've got noise canceling set up and voice isolation, but all day long here in my house, I am listening to sounds and frequencies. Can you hear that?
No, I don't hear anything. No, it would.
I don't hear anything. But these sounds and these frequencies I play all day long. And I'm going to turn off all of the noise canceling that I possibly can. And let's see if that does anything.
I can
I
hear it
don't know.
now.
Yep. So, and that's at 97 or 100 out of 100, right? But I'm listening to these frequencies all day long, usually at around a 30. It's just kind of running in the background. And I'm going to turn back on the noise canceling and all of the different things that Zoom does to make sure we've got a nice, crisp, clean conversation. I'm constantly listening to sounds and frequencies. It sounds like a monastery or a temple in my house every single day. And I play it through the sound system here in my house. I'm lucky enough to have a Sonos sound system, which is brilliant, wonderful. And but I would do it through a Bluetooth speaker. I would do it through my phone. I would do it through headphones. I keep headphones near me just about all the time. Here's two different sets of headphones that I listen to, and I play sounds and frequencies throughout the day because it calms and relaxes the body. What In Harmony does, we have a record label that makes these frequencies, makes this music. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube. You can find our own app in the App Store for iOS and Google Play. And we make sound and frequency music that is designed to calm and relax the nervous system. You can listen to it through headphones, a Bluetooth speaker, a home stereo system, your car stereo system, even though I don't recommend doing it while you're driving. And that's just an easy download. It's free to stream on YouTube. And if you want some higher quality tracks, you can pay $8 a month or $80 a year for our app. It comes with a free 14-day full feature trial. And then if you want to upgrade the experience from there, we make what we call relaxation furniture, which is basically chairs and lounges that has what's called a tactile transducer built into it. Sound and frequency and vibration that actually translates the music we create into vibration. Now, this is where things get really magical. So we have in our skin something called a mechanoreceptor. When you touch your fingers together like this, what's actually happening is there's a change in pressure on the tip of your finger that is sending a signal down your arm and to your brain that says there's changes in pressure at the tip of my finger. Your eyes are watching your hand touch your other hand. So in a split second, the supercomputer that's in your brain is saying, I'm feeling my finger touch my finger. Now, it took us a long time to get here. Okay. This is the stuff that my daughter is just figuring out as a toddler and as a child, right? 30% of your hearing comes through your eyes. Not many people realize this. And a large percentage, I don't know what percentage it is, but a large percentage of your hearing comes through your skin and those changes in pressure. If you've ever gone to a nightclub or gone to a concert and you felt the pulse of a sound wave against your chest, okay, that is happening through a series of mechanoreceptors that is in every piece of your skin. You touch your skin, you feel it. What your touch is a mechanoreceptor that's in your skin. Now, all of these signals are harmoniously being sent to your brain all day long. I'll give you a great example. You don't feel your clothes right now until I said, feel your clothes. And then all of a sudden you're like, I feel my clothes. I feel my pants. I feel my shirt. I feel my underwear. I feel my clothes. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activator system that filters out all the stuff that's not important. And your clothes touching your skin is not important until I said, feel your clothes. And then all of a sudden it became important and it rised in its priority. And now all of a sudden you felt your clothes. But the mechanoreceptors in your skin are constantly sending signals to the brain. So when you sit down on our meditation cushion or you lay down on our sound lounge 2 or our practitioner 2 or our massage table, and you are hearing the same frequencies that you are feeling, this becomes a top priority. And this is what actually resets the nervous system and creates this immersive sound experience that feels amazing and makes you feel as though you're inside the music. And this is the experience that resets the nervous system. This is what triggers the chemical cascades associated with the parasympathetic nervous system response. I call it relaxation from the outside in. The sound and the vibration literally sends a message to every muscle in your body, telling it to relax, overriding the signals your nervous system is sending to that muscle group and putting you in a relaxed state from the outside in instead of the inside out. So instead of you telling your muscles to relax, the sound and vibration is telling your muscles to relax from the outside in. It's very unique. It's very powerful. And it feels absolutely fantastic.
And is there, I suppose, pray a duration or amount that people should do that you'd recommend on a weekly, on a monthly basis?
As often as possible, right? The reality is, I'm not going to change the outside world. I'm not going to change your sister who keeps doing that thing, or your mom who won't lay off you for doing this, or construction, or that job that you can't stand. I can't change any of that. All I can change is how you show up in the face of that stimuli. And regular access to InHarmony technology, 22 minutes a day, 22 minutes in the morning, 22 minutes at night, whatever it might be. 22 minutes is the formal session length for vibroacoustic therapy. That's what the science says is necessary. However, I've done 3-minute sessions. I've done 40-minute sessions. I've done 4-hour sessions. I've spent the night on it. I've really used it to the max, and there really is no overdoing it. What we do is we change how your body is conditioned. Just like going to the gym every day and working out, you're conditioning your muscles to lift heavier weight. We can condition your nervous system to spend more time calm and relaxed and less time stressed and anxious. It doesn't mean if there's that existential threat, a gunshot goes off, that we're not going to trigger your nervous system. Of course we are. But it does mean that in the day-to-day of what's happening in this world, we can absolutely help you to show up calm and relaxed. People say it to me all the time. They're like, Craig, you're so chill. You're so relaxed. You're so calm. And I'm like, yeah, I work on it, right? I focus on helping my nervous system stay calm and relaxed. in the day-to-day stress that we face every single day, and everybody does. We all face stress. But the reason why some people can show up calm and relaxed and other people get stressed out at the quickest fate of or face in the face of the littlest amount of stress is conditioning. It is practice. And it is taking more time to stay cool, calm, and collected. Look, this is exactly what cold therapy does. It's exactly what hot therapy does. It stresses your body and it teaches you. If you're doing a cold plunge every single day, and then you go on a ski trip and it's a particularly cold day, you're not going to be cold compared to the person that's not doing the cold plunge every single day, right?
Mm.
And the reason for that is you're conditioned. I was just listening to a podcast that was joking about Wim Hof being on the Titanic. Like if Wim Hof was on the Titanic, he'd just be like swimming around in the water, like he'd be surviving and teaching people how to survive, right? Like why? Conditioning. Wim Hof has conditioned himself to not be threatened by the cold. In fact, to excel in the cold in a very unique way. And he's teaching now thousands of people to be doing it the same way as well, which is beautiful. But it's all conditioning. So what our technology does is it conditions your nervous system to spend more time calm and relaxed. And we do that through a very incredible feeling of sound and vibration, which really does. It feels lovely and wonderful and amazing. It is nothing like cold therapy or hot therapy for that matter. It is not stressful. It is very soothing, very relaxing, and feels fantastic.
I said I'd love to even, I suppose, try it out for myself. You tell me what, I suppose, ways that you can get people to touch base with yourself in relation to your products or services, Craig, there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am probably one of the easiest people to find on the internet. My website, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm not sure if this is going to be video or audio. IamInharmony.com is our website. IamInharmony. I am in harmony. I am being the two most important words in the English language because anything you put after them, you are. So why not be in harmony with the world around you? And that's exactly what our products do. Our products bring you into harmony with the world around you. We're on all the socials. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. And I am the human being on the other side of the comments, and I am the human being on the other side of the direct messages. That is exactly where I want to be, is evangelizing for this industry and evangelizing for our business and our company and our brand. But I love being in touch with people. I love opportunities like this. And I love connecting and talking to as many folks as I can about their overall health and wellness. It's my sweet spot.
Yeah, Craig, and you are supposed someone who's living it and breathing it, and it must be a pleasure to have you on here. Just suppose before you go, I'd love if you even give maybe 3 tips that you most certainly are things that you do right now that you would want more people to do to benefit their health out the other side of listening to this podcast.
Yeah. So look, first and foremost, and I'd say it's in no particular order, but really, I mean, just based on my business and what I do, take time for yourself. Take time to sit down and meditate, whatever that looks like for you. Listen to one of our music meditations. We have 11, they range from 2 minutes to 2 hours. Download our apps, 14 days for free, and sit somewhere calmly, quietly, relaxing, put on headphones, and just lose yourself in the music for 11 minutes. You will feel fantastic on the other side of that. Far too many people are not giving themselves enough time to go within and to travel within. Sound and vibration distracts the mind to allow you to drop into an alpha and a theta brainwave state and to go within. So take time for yourself. Schedule it, give it to yourself. Not watching television, not zoning out, not reading articles or scrolling through social media, but listening to music or even no music at all and just allowing yourself to be with yourself. Next, get out into nature. We all have access to the outdoors, whether it's cold, warm, hot, medium, doesn't matter.
Rain.
Adverse weather conditions, perfect sunshine. Go outside and spend time outside. Go for a walk, have a meeting outside, take a phone call outside, whatever it is, but get outside. And then the last is it's the hippie in me. Hug a tree, touch and connect with nature. And that could be as easy as touching a plant or a leaf. You don't literally have to hug a tree. Oh, that's fantastic. Take your shoes off and get your feet against the earth. These are the 3 most important things, in my opinion. Right after that, you've got human to human contact, hug somebody for more than 20 seconds, skin on skin contact, exercise, hot and cold therapy. I mean, there's really so many different things that I think you need to be doing in order to be healthy. But yeah, certainly most important is giving yourself time to go within and giving yourself time to relax.
Yeah, Craig, I think there's definitely a book in yourself out the other side of this podcast in relation to all things health. And I'm just super
Thank
grateful
you.
for you coming on the likes of this podcast. And I'll tag yourself in this show and have all your, I suppose, socials in the show notes so people can click and go straight over to your page out the other side of it. And I always end these podcasts by saying, stay tuned, stay classy, and keep it organic. Thanks, Craig.